The alien encounters and everything like that, I'm going to go over this little area right here because it's completely kind of crazy, but you take it as you want to. The dark side of the moon contains military bases that were put up there basically in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and whatever. These were bases that were put up there, but there is a man named Carl Wolf who was a technician at the Air Force Tactical Air Command headquarters in Langley, Virginia. He analyzed the data from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, claiming he and his colleagues viewed artificial structures on the dark side of the moon, including radar antennas and structures made by intelligent beings. Others claimed to discovered underground tunnels in the images captured by India's lunar orbiter. These tunnels were on the dark side of the moon. Now, the one thing I gotta say about this, how the hell are you seeing tunnels from an overhead view?
Right, we never really see that side of the moon ever.
Not only that, how are you seeing tunnels from above? That's dumb.
Right.
That is dumb, unless they got some type of ground-penetrating fucking camera. I don't see that happening at all. Now, on with the aliens!
Are you sure this time?
I think so. Now, everybody's heard at least one astronaut come out and say, hey, there's aliens out there.
Are you sure?
Buzz Aldrin was one. Neil Armstrong has mentioned it before. Story Musgraves has mentioned it before. He's been on a lot of conspiracy shit. He's the one that kind of talks out the side of his mouth, and he does seem kind of half retarded. Nothing against mentally handicapped people. He does seem like there's something wrong with him. And there's a bunch of transcripts. You guys can look this up because me reading this is going to be basically useless. You can look up this. It's basically Apollo 11 talking to NASA saying, you know, where's that Saturn V SIVB stage? Where's it at? Blah, blah, blah. You know, we're seeing something weird outside the spaceship. Now, I'm actually going to play the clip now of Buzz Aldrin talking about seeing something outside the ship.
I saw this illumination that was moving with respect to the stars. We were smart enough to not say, Houston, there's a light out there that's following us. So technically it becomes an unidentified flying object.
While Neil and Buzz were on the lunar surface, Neil switched to the medical channel and spoke directly with the chief medical officer, saying, they're here, they're parked on the side of the crater, they're watching us.
So what did you think about what Buzz Aldrin said in there? There was a couple other guys in there talking. It was a E! Entertainment special, actually.
That whole thing just gave me the creeps, like goosebumps.
Right?
Right, like something doesn't belong there.
We're going to move on to the next clip, which is actually from a Forbes video channel. We're going to play the clip for you guys, and you guys judge for yourselves. He dances around the idea of it being an actual UFO with another intelligent being inside. So let's take a look.
A UFO in the sense that many people think of UFOs. Could it have been something from another galaxy, or do you think it was probably just a man-made piece of the shield that went off?
I think it was one of the panels to very nearly absolute certainty. But there's nothing you can be absolutely certain of, and that's where the opening comes for people who I think are trying to promote their own attention-getting activities.
Buzz, thanks for coming.
All right, so after that clip, I want you guys to let us know what you think of all of this. Hit us up, please. TheConspiracyAsylum at gmail.com. We've got a Twitter, we've got a Facebook, we've got an Instagram.
You mean Instagram?
Instagram.
Oh, good lord.
We have a Patreon. If you'd like to donate, that'd be great. $1 a month. $1 a month would be great. I'm not going to beg for the money. You guys can get onto Patreon and not pay anything too. And you can still see all of my shit. Takes 2 seconds to sign up. You don't have to pay me anything to see all this stuff. Now, if I start getting Patreons, though, I will start doing bonus episodes. And I will start doing giveaways. So, just
keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. Check us out. We're going to give our opinions about the moon landing now. And Apollo 11 and NASA. So, babe, first of all, I'm going to start it off like this. Did we go to space on the day that we said that we went to the moon?
I'd like to think so, yes. I'd like to think that we at least made it, out into space. But did we actually land on the moon? That's really questionable. I'm sure that we actually put people out in space. But I still am really iffy on if we ever actually landed on the moon on the exact date that they said they did. I'm pretty sure that we probably have in the last, say 50 years. They've had to have somebody up there at least since. There's got to have been. And even if it's not American, there's got to be Russian or somebody. They've had to have been on the moon by now. Otherwise, I do feel like the majority of it was probably created in a studio and, like, Area 51, for instance. I feel like that would be, like, the prime place to, film that. And, why
Absolutely.
Why else are we not allowed there other than it being, like, a military base? But what is so secret there that...
Right.
It's just so suspicious to me.
They didn't acknowledge that it even existed until, like, 1996 or something.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And everybody knew about it by then. So it was kind of like they were...
Well, and that's desert terrain. I mean, here, let's manipulate the camera a little bit and, make it look like the moon.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree with you there. I could see that. Other than just going to space, do you think we landed on the moon? In your opinion, after hearing all the evidence, do you think we landed on the moon?
On that specific time of...
Yes.
With Apollo 11, no, I do not believe that we actually landed on the moon.
Okay.
Do you?
I'll go over mine after I'm done questioning you.
Oh boy, I'm getting the third degree over here. Being interrogated.
Mm-hmm. All right, so if we did not go to the moon, do you believe that Stanley Kubrick directed the moon landing?
I mean, it's possible. I can't say yes or no, but I mean, it is possible. I'm not going to say, yes he did or no he didn't.
Okay. Do you think that Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong saw aliens when they
that
were
is
up
a
there?
definite possibility. Just listening to that clip and giving me the goosebumps. And
Do you believe that there's aliens on the moon?
no, I don't believe that the aliens are on the moon. If anything, they're going to be at least in Mars.
Do you believe that there's military bases up there?
Oh, fuck no.
No.
That is the biggest load of shit I've ever heard.
Okay. Ask me the same questions.
Oh my god, you want me to remember all of that at this time of night?
Okay, I'll go over it.
Okay.
Then. Alright, so, my opinion on whether we went to space that day was it July 16th, 1969, I do believe. My memory serves me right. I do believe that was the day. I think we went to space, and I think we hung out there for a little bit. I think we faked the moon landing. I do not think we went to the moon for the simple fact of there's several things, but my biggest thing is still the Van Allen belt. I don't think we would have made it through that radiation and gotten to the moon. And there's so many holes in this fucking story. It's ridiculous. I don't think they expected photography and...
just media.
Media in general to get this high quality where we can see stuff. A lot of the people that say, oh, well, they would have hid that if... No. Because they didn't know that we're going to have high definition where you could see the fucking pimples on your asshole. They didn't know that was going to happen. So... they basically, filmed it like they would have filmed anything else back then. Now, do I believe Stanley Kubrick did it? Hell no. I think they did it probably at Area 51. The more I think about it, the more you were talking. I actually do believe, I think they did it at Area 51 or someplace just like that. Some secret base, which Area 51 would probably be the best one to do because nobody can go there. And the landscape. The landscape is perfect there. I think they filmed it there, but I think they did it with all CIA operatives. Because it doesn't take much to work a camera. It doesn't take much to mix music or audio, because my fucking dumbass, I can do it when I'm doing this podcast. And I'm not even close to a government official.
Right.
So these guys probably had some type of knowledge of this stuff. Now, did they maybe go to Stanley Kubrick and get advice or something like that? Maybe. I'll leave that as a maybe. Other than that, I think he didn't have anything to do with it. I think it's a bunch of bullshit, the people that think that he did, because a lot of the evidence is complete bullshit.
Okay, what about the aliens then? Do you feel like they've actually witnessed aliens?
I think Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong saw a alien UFO that day. And the reason I do believe that is just intuition off of, I know it sounds stupid, but off of the clip that we listened to where he was dancing around the idea of the UFO. He kept on saying it was an unidentified flying object in the sense of the definition of it being unidentified. He wanted to drive home the fact that he thinks it's not alien. Right. He thinks that it's... And that's because he's a famous astronaut and he doesn't want to give NASA a bad name. Now, Neil Armstrong has come out, like I said, and said that anything that's said about NASA lying is complete bullshit. I think what he's saying is bullshit about that, because NASA has lied. Like I said, they came out and said aliens weren't real back when I was a kid.
Right, and Stephen Hawking, the smartest man in the world, did he die?
Yeah, I believe he's dead.
Rest in peace. Rest his soul. But he believed in aliens. And, for the smartest man on Earth... Rest in peace. Oh, my God. For the smartest man on Earth to believe in, alien beings, what does that say? I mean, I feel like maybe he knew something we didn't.
I think he has the right idea because he knows that it's statistically impossible that we're alone in the universe.
Right.
Now, whether the fact they've been here or not, it's highly unlikely. Unless they know a different form of transportation through wormholes or something like that.
That would show that they are way more advanced than we are. We're basically the cavemen.
Either that or aliens are us from the future, or they are just interdimensional beings. So they don't have to travel very far. They just have to travel to the other dimension. Kind of got into an alien debate there. But basically, we kind of are thinking along the same lines here. We think that the moon landing was faked.
Yeah, it had to have been staged.
Fake as fuck. Now, I'm not going to be like this Cerebral guy. I forgot his first name, but he is the one that got punched by Buzz Aldrin, because he was waiting for Buzz Aldrin outside of a Beverly Hills hotel, which I hate paparazzi. I fucking hate paparazzi. I think they're the most low-life piece of fucking trash on God's green fucking earth.
Right, but, he basically comes running up with a Bible saying, Buzz, I need you to swear on this Bible that you actually went to the moon. You landed on the moon that day. You need to swear on this Bible that you did. And Buzz wouldn't touch the Bible. He's like, you get away from me, you don't fucking touch me.
He did it to Neil Armstrong, too.
Yeah.
He did the same exact thing to Neil Armstrong. I would punch him.
Right. I feel like his actions were justified.
Exactly. And the thing is this guy's documentary, we watched it, Cerebral's documentary, he comes out and says, if I had really walked on the moon, I'd think it's hilarious if somebody came up.
I could swear on 20 Bibles at once that we went and walked on the moon.
But why would you want to give that person that satisfaction?
Right, you don't owe him anything.
Exactly. It's like somebody coming up to me and saying, are you qualified to be a quality inspector? Here, measure this part for me. Why?
Right.
Why? I don't need to prove shit to you. So I would be pissed too. But if you guys have a different view, or if you have evidence that we might have left out, if you've got opinions,
let us know.
We want to know. We want to see other sides of the story. I have every right to change my mind. I have every right to be wrong. So go ahead and hit us up. theconspiracyasylum@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Twitter. You can hit us up on Instagram, Facebook. There's 2 Facebook pages, actually. One's actually Conspiracy Asylum, the person, which is actually just me. And there's Conspiracy Asylum, the
actual
page.
Facebook page, which I'm the one who's running, and I've been slacking on. But yes, we are there.
She's been slacking a little bit, but I've been giving her some slack.
Yeah.
Because I get to put my wiener in her ass crack.
No, absolutely not.
The fist to my vagina.
I'll fist your vagina.
I would welcome fisting to my vagina.
Oh my gosh.
I like BBC.
Oh my gosh.
The British Broadcasting Channel.
Alright, well I think that
really turns me on.
That concludes today's episode.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, guys.
right over New Year's?
Yep, for 11 o'clock on the 31st, and it is now 1 a.m. on January 1st.
It took us about 3 hours to finish the second half of this.
No, it was only 2. You lied.
Well, it's 2 hours, but we took break.